6:43, welcome back. A case that we have been following for quite a while. It's the unsolved case of Donna Arceneaux. It still lingers over that small town in Washington Parish and for the family there as well. WWL Louisiana brought you extensive coverage on Arceneaux's case, with family sharing the terrifying moments. The mother of three was found shot to death in her home back in 2017.
911, what is your emergency?
Hey, we got a
She was found on the floor, half naked, and had been shot through her chest.
Just horrifying there, hearing from her sister. A new docu-series called Freeze Frame is uncovering the grim details and the renewed efforts to find answers. We've got filmmaker and Washington Parish native Tucker Simmons joining us to share more about, producing some new information on this, but also you and I were talking, and you have a family connection here.
Yeah, Donna was married to my uncle in the early 2000s and had an amazing time with her growing up.
Wow, I can't imagine being a filmmaker and having, your career and your passion clash with such a heartbreaking story here. And so for anyone who's not familiar, first off, thanks for being here. I have to say
thanks for having me, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're so happy to have you here. I know a lot of people very interested in, finding justice for Donna and for, all of you, her family and anyone there in the town. This has really stumped people now, this cold case for 7 years, which we know Washington Parish, the sheriff there has reopened this, so that's good news there. Just tell us a little of the background for anyone who may not be familiar.
So Donna was found shot in her home in October 2017 by her then boyfriend and her spiritual advisor. For some reason, the sheriff's office announced to the newspaper that it was suicide, but the coroner's office and the pathologist in St. Tammany have told us on the record that they never believed it was suicide, it was always homicide. So we thought we'd look into it, and some of the details are pretty shocking. Wow. There's a lot of unanswered questions, so our goal is to put pressure on law enforcement to do something.
And this is something that you've lived through personally, but being a filmmaker, how did you have to sort of shift your thinking in order to be able to now work on this case, essentially?
I'm much more comfortable behind the scenes, and I didn't go into this planning to be part of the story, but it's my hometown, it involves people in my family, childhood friends who are now sources, and so I have to really separate my personal viewpoints to approach this in a way that's still has integrity.
Yeah, of course. I imagine it's very difficult, but also rewarding in a sense, because you're hopefully going to help push this forward, because all anyone wants to know is what happened to Donna. It's devastating. a mother of three, and to not have these answers, and then with that confusion surrounding false information being put out.
Right. And I think an example of why my job is, I think it's important, the state police told us it was a cold case that takes less priority due to a lack of resources back in the middle of last year. So we put a billboard up in Franklinton, which you just saw. And a few days later, they found those resources and manpower and assigned a new detective and reached out to Donna's son. So it's provocative, but it worked.
Yeah,
and we're grateful that they have someone working the case.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'd be remiss if I didn't tell people the docu-series, it just dropped
Episode 1 yesterday.
Okay, episode 1, and there's going to be several episodes. Where can they find all of it?
You can go to freezeframepodcast.com. You can find Freeze Frame on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcasts.
What's the ultimate goal?
To solve the case and for Donna's family and children to know that she did not commit suicide.
All right. Thank you so much for being here
and
doing this work too. a passion project, I'm sure, but still one that can't be easy. So we look forward to being able to see all of the episodes. Freeze Frame, episode 1, as we mentioned, available now on all podcast platforms. New episodes will be available weekly every Tuesday. Did I get that right? Tuesday they'll be dropping through November 19th. Be sure to follow at Freeze Frame Pod for those real-time updates as well. Thanks so much for being in, Tucker. All right.